Hello there, everyone. I'm a little late, uh, on this. A little late on starting the stream here. I'm very tired right now. I was half considering not doing the stream because I'm so tired, but I'm doing it anyway because I hate myself. Uh, so, uh, Downtron just announced a new contest in Spore to do, or to build a what is it? Like a racing spacecraft, kind of like some of those air race planes in real life. So I'm here with Spore. Yeah, I know. I just paused there for a second. I was reading something on the other screen, but yeah, I'm playing Spore. This game. This will be up on YouTube later. So Clowntron made it. This is the contest creation. Yeah. Uh, so we do have to tag it with Spore Kives 21. But other than that, yeah. So something like, I guess this is something kind of the style, a racing spacecraft sort of thing we have to build. And if we look at some other people, like say Cass here, I mean, he did pretty decent stuff. Question the sub, but you know, the griping, yeah, his griping's good. Engine could be better, but everything else is good. Oh, I'm getting distracted already. That's just how tired I am. Um, but no, if we look at exclusively like his spacecraft for a little bit of inspiration here, I think these might have been with some of the previous contest. That one's, I guess, based off a Thai thing, but yeah, you can kind of see he does that sort of style. This one looks pretty cool. That one actually does look really cool. Could have been a little slimmer, looks a little fat, but yeah, looks cool. Otherwise, why am I doing this? Why am I being mean? I should not be being mean. Uh, Start looking at some of my other friends. I don't think DH106 is going to have a lot in this category. He was mostly a plane builder. I did build some spaceships. He was very good. Gluma built some cool spaceships as well, which could be used for inspiration. John Freeman. Oh, that was... Wait, John Freeman was before my time on Spore. HR Matthew mostly does that. Gennady doesn't play. Koopa doesn't play. It's been a long time since KRCMar played, but I could look at some of his stuff. This is a cool style. I really like this style of ship. And like, I know this is a much bigger ship because I can see the bridge right here. But, you know, you could imagine taking the guns off and just kind of sticking a cockpit on it right here and it would look really cool. So that's certainly some possibility for inspiration. I also, for inspiration, have a whole Google tag. I think I can share this, or share my screen on this just fine, of, you know, various stuff. So like this one's EVE Online Fighters. Here I think we have just the term Starfighter in general, but minus some stuff. I don't want to see anything Star Wars here, for example, but I'm probably going to see stuff from Star Wars anyway. Oh, that looks pretty cool, actually. A little Delta sort of thing, kind of A-wing-ish. But yeah, that's very Star Wars related. Those look interesting. So I've got Starfighters pulled up. Starfighter's probably going to be pretty close to racing craft. So, yeah, that's kind of my thought there. This is like Elite Dangerous ships, and that is a game I play. So you can look at a bunch from the top, like the DBX or the DBs. I don't know, maybe some of these. That one looks good. I forget what that's called. What that one's called. Oh yeah, here's a better picture. It's It's small size though. Is there anything up top? Yeah, there it is. Like some of this style. Like it's Imperial style. I need to play that game more. The fact that I'm just not remembering what ships are which tells you about how much I've played the game. Like I can identify what a Sidewinder is, what a Cobra is, what a Diamondback is, and what an Anaconda is. Don't ask me about anything else. And there's labels on here. They're tiny on the screen right now, so I'm not bothering to read them. Oh yeah, this was like a Star Wars picture of a bunch of their fighters. So that's obviously an X-Wing. That's an E-Wing. I don't know what this is. Is this a different X-Wing model? Y-Wing, Y-Wing. That's like that Jedi Starfighter, the two versions of it. That's another Jedi Starfighter. That's the ARC 170. That's a weird... That's like a Y-Wing, X-Wing mashup. I don't know what this is. It kind of looks like a Colonial Viper or something. It's odd. B-Wing right there. That's a weird X-Wing model. Maybe that appeared in something. I don't know. I haven't been too familiar with all the recent stuff. My most familiarity with Star Wars stuff. I mean, some of it's going to be the prequels. Some of it is... I was very young when I watched the original trilogy. I have not watched the most recent trilogy. I probably won't bother watching it, given how bad I've heard it is. But most of it's probably from the game Battlefront 2. And yeah, Battlefront 2, the good Battlefront 2, not the bad Battlefront 2, the one back in like the 2000s. Then, yeah, I was looking through this for inspiration. But I'm not coming up with good inspiration right now for whatever reason. I do kind of like KRC Mars' style here, though. I can even look at some of my old spaceships myself. I'm gonna have these things still sitting around. But what else? What else do I have? Alright. Oh yeah, some of this terrible stuff. And the worst mistake I ever made in Pick Wars was actually doing that. Oh yeah, that car thing I made, that was pretty cool. And then, where are my old fighters? Like down here? Wow. Early 2011. Okay, yeah, maybe I cannot use these for inspiration. They're kind of bad. They're kind of really bad. Yeah. Okay, let's get building. Let's just see what comes to me as I build and do stuff and be extremely, extremely, extremely tired. Alright, so we need to, first things first, we need to think about the practicalities of the design. So obviously it needs a cockpit. You would want that. Now, there are multiple ways we could build the cockpit. And I'll just do a couple of quick examples here. So one of them is we mount the cockpit on top, like this. And what this does, this is a bubble canopy sort of thing. I'm going to actually stretch that back for the moment. This is not at all what this will look like. Actually, how does this surprisingly not look bad? It should look way worse than it does. I'm surprised. Like, I'm finding that I could maybe use this piece for something, which is weird. I never thought that I'd be thinking that I could use this piece, actually. But you could probably achieve, you know, multiple different planes out of it. But anyway, I'm not going to use this piece. So if we imagine this is a bubble canopy right here. So, you know, this style of canopy was used starting in World War II. And, you know, it's been used to the modern day in a lot of jets. And what it does is it has good forward view, good side view, and good rear view. So you can see what's behind you. Now, there is another option. And that is a forward-mounted canopy. Should probably look something like this. So in this case, the canopy, which is this here, I'll only bring it here. It can see up, down, to both sides in front of itself, but it cannot see behind itself particularly well. There's also the thought of having this sort of canopy, but having something behind it, like this. I'll just say this design approximately. So now you have your canopy's probably a little structurally stronger, but you've lost the ability to see behind you, but it could look cooler, depending on how stuff looks. Alright. So now we gotta figure out what the actual design is gonna look like, which is gonna be the more complicated part here. I will say. Quickly steal. Downtron's going quickly steal his ideas. Yeah. There is some interesting parts we could use as well. Let me just put down a cube. Worst thing, there's nothing there right now. No, I'm reading your comments on Discord. Yeah. So there's some thought about doing wheels like this, for example, and then having what are they? You could definitely put thrusters on the end of them. I would say custom built thrusters, preferably. Minimalism, beautiful. Why didn't I think of that? Yeah, of course. But there's also some thought about let's see. Detail. Needs more Roomba. Needs all the Roomba. Yeah, no, right now I'm not at the point where I'm actually building anything. I'm like trying to figure this out. So you could do some stuff like this, and let's hypothetically just add another one of these on the other end of it and just get an idea mentally of how this looks. If it'll actually let me adjust it in a good position. So you could do something, or I could do something kind of like this. Actually, that kind of looks cool. Having the rotating gear shape on the back side of it. Now, of course, it would be difficult to get an engine in the center, but that does look pretty cool. And you might actually be able, I might be able to somewhat indent this in a little bit. Like, say, we went here. Yeah. But there's other thoughts about using like the Red Rover part instead too. One of these two, Sunday X3 or the Red Rover, could be good, and that could be something good for the engines. So I think the first thing I want to do is we need a fuselage of some description. And that fuselage, let's start with, there's a piece I want to start with here, and I'm currently trying to find it, and wow, I'm apparently brain dead tonight because I'm not finding it. Bicycle seat, make it a Roomba. No, I will not make it a Roomba. What is it with your obsession with Roombas? How many Roombas do you have collected? Are you like stealing Roombas out of people's houses or something and putting them in your home for your own weird perverted means? Sci-Fi Storm? Okay, that has to be the weirdest sentence I've ever said. No, it's not the weirdest sentence I've ever said on stream. There's weirder. But it's gotta be among them. Okay, so I'm gonna start with this. So we kind of have this spike going on at the tail. So one thought is building the craft up more here and then kind of having it descend down this way. There was another thought for the craft I had, but I was so tired that I didn't think of it. Now that I already have this piece down, I'm just gonna work off of this piece rather than do anything related to that other idea. I have I can do 3 entries anyway. So yeah. Also, color scheme is gonna be another big one. Ooh, painting it. I probably want to save some parts for being able to paint it, honestly. Alright, so why am I trying to build a fuselage out of 2 pieces? I'm not that dumb. Put it back in. Okay, so give me this smooth lozenge. No. Okay. Okay, so let's just start with, like, maybe this sort of cockpit style and texture. I'm not sure if I'm liking the current design I have. It almost looks like a tadpole at the moment. No, I'm gonna drop this down here. Actually, I'm gonna move it backwards a bit, drop it down there, and then maybe have that more aligned here-ish. So the cockpit's in the front. I probably want to make it sleeker at the front. And then I can do something kind of along here, which would be, ooh, I don't know. Do I want to go with something smoother, or do I want to go with something... Let's try a cube to start out with. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to work. That's a little too far forward. Bring it back there. Bring it back here-ish. I think I need something a little rounder, but not like all the way round. Like a flying toaster would be fine, but I think that's a very complex piece. Can we find a good non... Actually, it looks like all the pieces are going to bring me up that extra bit of complexity, so it doesn't really matter what I pick here. Well, it does matter. It's going to matter much later on. But it doesn't matter to me right now, which is the important part. Actually, the smooth lozenge is a really nice part for not eating up complexity, so that's a good thing. So I can use an upside down smooth lozenge here. And then maybe do something like this. It's having an interesting shape. I don't know if it's a little too big. It might be a little too big. But I don't know. Having it be a little bigger might be fun. Okay, so I need some sort of nose on this, definitely, because having this flat bit down here is not going to look good in the slightest. You know what? Why don't I do something kind of X-wing-ish at the nose? Well, maybe not perfectly X-wing-ish, but a little bit kind of like where more square shape is used. I guess what I'm saying. So what's probably good... I'm not sure if I'll upload this tonight or wait until tomorrow. Honestly, I might hold off a day on uploading whatever creation I have, just in case it's like, it doesn't grow on me. Because I'm really unsure on this one, unless it turns out really good. And if this turns out really good, then yeah, I'll just immediately get it uploaded. You know what, it could use something along here, rather than just having a perfectly flat bottom. So I'm going to bring this all up a bit. And then I'll be able to work a little bit more with the bottom of it. And that should hopefully be good. Hopefully be very, very good. Assuming I don't literally fall asleep on my keyboard before then, because that is a very, very real possibility right now, given the current state I'm in. Let's try this guy here. Oh, this could look good. This could look good. It needs to be smaller. Okay, this will make it smaller. Move it down a bit to here. See, I can shrink that much further now. I can also extend it. got a little bit of a weird nose. Box stop shitposting in his chat. I have people shitpost in my chat all the time when I play other games, so I mean my stream mostly is Rule Waves 2, so it's not mostly this. Let's see. That is not working. Let me get rid of that. That was not a good decision on my part. You know what? I will try the bicycle seat. Another bicycle seat might look good. I guess I'm building it mostly out of these parts. Okay. Let's see. Well, this... You know what? I'm going to try this instead. No, I don't want to do that. Bring it in. Has a little bit of a nose. Ah! Got a nice side profile. Not gonna lie. Frontal profile leaves something to be desired. That's not terrible. I could work with that. I could definitely work with that. And how I'm gonna work with that is I'm gonna take this piece, turn it around the other way, and try to use this end. Bring it back in. No, it's not working. Big Lightning Queen is a spaceship and you'll win. Promise. You'll put in the vote for me if I do that? Actually, how much of this is down rather than me? Or not me, down rather than you. Wow, I'm tired. That's been this stream. That's been my commentary this stream so far, is just me constantly saying, wow, I'm tired. Okay, so I know wings on spaceships are a stupid idea, but we're putting wings on a spaceship. Actually, one of the cool things I was seeing was a tail wing, which was intentionally, like, bent down like this. I'll study this possibility, but it really depends on how I build other stuff. Kinda like this. So the classic put it on a box approach. Okay. I need to swap these around. Like so. Unless I decide you want to try and make a shitty spaceship. Well, that is a possibility. Not feeling that. Looks interesting. But I don't know if I like it. Okay, so I want to do kind of two outboard engines, kind of like a Naboo starfighter. Maybe a third engine back here, but I don't know on that one. But yeah, for the outboard engines, I don't specifically know what I'm going to do yet. So if we look at space, I mean, you do have the fusion coil engine. Just look kind of cool. Which thruster effect do I want on it? I guess is the question. Probably not fire. Alright, there is one thing I need to do on this, and that is give it maneuvering thrusters on the nose. So these are just going to be simple little hole things here. I think is the best way to describe it. That's too big of a piece. Get rid of those. How small can I get a part? You know, if I could actually jam that inside of that piece, I would. But I don't think I can. Ah, here's how small I can get them. So on the nose, there are going to be these little maneuvering thrusters mounted. And anyone who plays Kerbal Space Program will know that you do need maneuvering thrusters to actually maneuver stuff in space. Or reaction wheels, but in real life those are not as strong as they are in the game. And I think here they'd help a bit. I should do gimbaled engines. Maybe not perfectly gimbaled engines, but like engines where the entire thing swivels. That would be cool. That would be cool. I want to do that so that this thing can have a lot more maneuverability. And it should probably be mounted a little farther away from the center of mass. I don't know what I'm not gonna tell you, Box. Oh, our plans are to blow up Alderaan. I don't know. No. Oh god. Now you're gonna tell them that I said that. Yeah, no, I'm not. Not only am I not telling you, but I don't really pay as much attention to that as I should. This is having a bit more of a tadpole-ish look right now, which is going to cost me the competition. Clipped. Of course it is. Alright, I need to think about how to do wings on this thing. I could do, like, the cube wings. Yeah, that might work. Yeah, let's do cube wings here. So this one does side to side, so I'll probably want to rotate them like this. You know what, I will... Nah. They're space wings. They don't need to be atmospheric. They don't need to function in an atmosphere. They just need to look cool. Alright, so I want to probably bring them up, or... how do I want to do this? I think they need to be thicker. I'll start with this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out some way to put the outboard engines on here. So I'm going to start with a piece like this guy right here. And then on it, I need to put the outboard engines, and I need to figure out how specifically to do that. Okay, so the first piece I'm going to use for the outboard engines is what's actually going to produce the style of thrust itself, which could be that. Are any of these cheaper than the other ones in terms of this? I don't think so. In terms of complexity, so one of them probably is, but I don't know which one it would be. So we could do something like this piece for getting it to look cool. Or getting the thrust to look cool, I should say. Okay, so now I can... You know what? I might be able to get those spikes kind of through the back and get that looking really nice. The engine, and if I'm doing that, then I would want to move this back here. So now we have to build stuff around this piece. Around these two pieces, and I'm going to bring them in a little bit more for now. Okay, so we have that in place. I want to probably start with I would say a cylinder. I'm gonna start with that wheel thing I was thinking about doing. Which will probably be a Red Rover here, actually. So I want to get it perfectly centered on this part. And then I want to see how small I can get away with. You know, I can probably get away with making it only like this big. And then I just have to build something larger up here. Okay, so now what? I need. You know, I can extend you as far back as I want. I would say that I normally could extend you as far back as I want, but I can't do that because of stuff being in the way. Oh, that's just the effect. I thought that this was somehow two of them duplicated together like you get when you put them in the center, but no, that wouldn't be the case. That would be stupid. So I got a little confused there. Alright, how do I want to handle this? So we gotta do something on the back end of this here. I need to get clever with how I use the parts. What if I used a snow cone here, flipped around, and did something like this, for example. Okay, come on, align properly. Come on, align in the right location. I think this will be a little easier to get it right on the center. So right on the center. Yeah, it's not working. If I extend it a little bit, it wouldn't be noticeable. Or just retract it like that. Actually, no, that might help me align it a little better. So now if we do extend it again... No. So I probably want to keep it more retracted like that. So if I want, here's kind of a giant spike I can put through the front. Which might look cool in the end. Wait, hold on. No, this piece is just... Okay, so I wanted to put pieces on... Okay. Why were you doing that? I wanted to put pieces on this one, but now I'm considering maybe not. Give it an R2 unit. No! No R2 units. I want to be original. Okay, so... Although it is appearing very Naboo Starfighter-ish, but it has a forward cockpit, so it's different. Okay, I'm gonna try a window over here. Okay, so that apparently rotated all the way back there, but okay. Let's make that as big as possible, and then shrink it down as much as possible, and try to realign it. Come on. Spore, you can align it properly. There you go, so now it's a little more easy to manipulate. And I can just kind of move its location gradually, like so. So there we go, now we kind of have the aft end of the ring. Okay, so then what I'd want to do is I'd want to take this, move it back here, And I want to do one on the other end somehow. Which I don't think I can do. Alright, time for a box. Time for a second box on the first box. Okay. So let's... just take that and do that with it. That might allow me to just squeeze in the second box about here. And then I can mount something on the front end and back end of this box, too. So that's the idea. So I tried to mount something on the back end. Is that mounted on this piece? Or the box? It's mounted on the box. Okay, cool. So I can fit it there. More box. Yes, more box. Okay, so... here we would want almost a cone sort of shape, but something with a little bit more hollowness. Maybe a plasma vent would work. Let's see. Nah, its base looks a little odd. So no plasma vent. Let's actually try this, just so I can get a kind of a visual of that piece. Oh, this is kind of weirdly wide rather than tall. Is there any way I can fix that? Does that help or does that hurt? That helps a little bit. I think that's about as big as I can get away with. Okay, so that piece has a little bit of hollowness, but it's not really gonna work. Both these do, but they're bent, so they won't work. Anything in aircraft? Probably not any of the jet engines. Let's try it. Because if I extend you all the way out to here, I have an idea. That idea did not work anywhere near as well as I wanted it to. But I think it worked. Somehow. What? No way. No way that worked. No way. No way that looks good. And I could do this too, and have a nice little ring mounted there. As long as I can hide that propeller successfully, I'll be fine. Now I just need to get this aligned properly in here, and I'll be golden. Ah. Hey Tar, how's it going? Yeah, I'm building a starfighter in this game. Well, not a starfighter, a racer. Kind of based off it, inspired by it. It's gonna be different, but yeah. One of the things is that these whole engines are gonna be able to swivel. If I can just get this piece aligned properly. Yeah. Come on, get it aligned. That looks okay. So, for example, they can do that for extra added maneuverability. Okay, so I want to see how little I can get away with expanding this until the propellers become visible. That looks pretty cool on the engines. For the back end of the engines, I should say. Okay, now I need to design the front end of the engines. in which I actually wound up painting this. I'm just gonna get rid of this having a giant spike. No more giant spike. I think the further forward... Yeah, okay, the further forward I can bring it, the further back this piece goes. But now, you know, by removing the giant spike, I can actually color this whatever color I want now and have it look really cool. Okay, so these are some maneuvering thrusters up front. I should probably place a couple of maneuvering thrusters on the sides too. And let's bring that in. So we'll have a nice collection of these on the forward end of the ship. Okay, so these ones kind of have to face a little more downwards due to just how they're positioned. Now, they might actually only provide sideways thrust, depending on how the ship operates. Maybe I'll make them a little bigger and try to straighten them out a little bit more. Maybe not quite that big, maybe more like that big. So yeah, that should give it some sideways maneuvering capability. Although there's some thought about, or there's certainly some thought about trying to only give it the maneuvering surfaces needed to roll and then pitch in one direction. So maybe it doesn't need the sideways pitch as much as it does need the up or the back and or the up and down pitch, and these can actually help a little bit with the up and down pitch too. Which is certainly an idea. Building a plane more to maneuver in 2 axes rather than 3. And we should probably add some to the... Well, I would say we should probably add some to the underside of the nose, but the underside of the nose isn't exactly decided yet. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place down a cylinder, starting on this cube. On this cube right here. You know what, I will... There's part of me which wants to place it on the end of the cube, if I can do that. So I might just take this and put it here now. Yeah, I'll do that. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to get this cylinder aligned properly. So I'll shrink it down somewhat. You know what, I will take this and just pitch it up for the moment. And start just kind of shrinking you down most of the way. And then bring only the cylinder up. I want the square left in place. Alright, so I'm going to make that a little tighter just so I can better see exactly which way it needs to move on here. Get it as centered as possible. Like that. Okay, cool. And then what I want to do is I want to take this, turn it around. Actually, the best way to turn it around is probably by doing this. Do something like that. And then bring it forward like that. Okay, there we go. Does have a little bit of a issue up here on the bottom, but that can be fixed. I will have to bring the engine in a bit too, if I do intend on using it this way. Maybe not quite that far in. Maybe more like this far in. So that looks kind of better supported. It does very much change the rotational area. However, it would also change the area the engine kind of starts from. But I don't know, maybe there or something could work. So I'm gonna real quickly just paint these a temporary color. And then I'm gonna put one of these guys on the front end of it. So it's gonna have what kind of looks like an intake, but not much of it. Intakes on space fighters don't exactly, or space speedy boys like this don't exactly make a lot of sense. Racer craft, that was the word I was looking for. Yes, speedy boy. That is the current mental state I'm in. I've been live for 48 minutes now somehow. I should have been in bed. Okay, so I want to probably use like a... I don't know. It's going to be... I don't think that's going to look good. I'm going to start with one of these guys. Screw it. I don't think any of the round... or another rounded piece on this is going to look that great. Alright, so get it perfect. Right. I could do something like that too. Almost have it look a little too staged there. Or like... yeah, okay, that kind of looks cool. Okay. I'm going to save it, just in case Spore crashes. Work in progress, racer. And I'm probably going to actually... maybe make that less long. Try to make it a little bit more compact. Okay. So we got something going here. Definitely. So I do want to work on the underside. We're only at about half complexity at the moment. Oh yeah, I want to get the engines a little bit more completed. So one thing I can do is... I want to move this a little bit. Move it up. I don't want to move it. I want to get a middle ring somewhere in here. Or I just do something like this. Or, alternatively, instead of using cubes, I use windows. Okay, start on the sphere. We could do something like this on all four sides, or on at least two sides, but probably on all four. But honestly, I think I will go back to the good old cube shape here, because I think that'll look a little nicer. Okay, so I would want to probably start it about here. Actually, you know what? Hold on, they're going to see the top-down one more than they're going to see the bottom 1. So I should put it on the bottom to start with, and then extend it upwards. Like so. And then just extend that back. It's too wide. Okay, so problem is we can extend it to that side if I try to make it thinner, which I don't want. I want to make it thinner, but I don't want to do that. Alright. Because I'd have to get it centered on the sphere, which would be fine. Alright, so let's see. How perfectly centered can I get this? And can I get 2 of them perfectly centered? Because the more perfectly centered I get it, the better it'll fit. Okay, so that's a little too high up top. Nope. What about here? Nope, not quite. Needs to be just slightly lower. Probably about here. Too low. Move it up a tiny bit. Maybe here. Too far that way. Move it maybe here. I'm going to freehand this. Yeah, this makes Kerbal's designer look so much nicer. Well, actually, Kerbal's is probably pretty similar. No, Kerbal has the offset tool, which is way nicer than this. Okay, I think that's going to be about the best of getting that piece right there. So now I need one the other way around. You know, this way. Okay, so I did accidentally move that piece. So I need to clear this piece out of the way, which means I need to just do that, basically. And then get this piece perfectly aligned. Not quite there, it needs to be a little higher up. Needs to be a little more in. There we go, that works. I think, right? Yeah, that'll work. That'll do. Alright, unrotate you. Rotate you that way. Okay, so then rotate you this way. Rotate you that way and turn you around. Right? Wrong. Now it's right. Alright, so then bring you back in to there and shrink you down a bit. And bring you back into there and shrink you down a little bit too. Yeah, now that looks pretty contained. Okay. So that kind of works. I do need something up here and on the bottom to stop those 2 sections, which will be some piece, some existing piece. Maybe I'll do like a teardrop. and then kind of have it be a little bit more bulgy. We'll do a teardrop on each end, since it seems like I'm not really going to be able to get this top one down if I try to put it on there. So maybe what I'll do is I'll put one here. That's probably, I would say that's probably about what I can get away with, but needs to be more aligned perfectly center. Okay, I'm going to try it in a different way. Different, easier to manipulate way. What is that? I'm going to do something more like this. So it's going to line itself now from the bottom more. Like so. I want this to look sleek. Okay, so let's make it bigger, and then let's straighten it out a little bit more. And as you can very clearly tell, this approach is not working. But if I do this... Nope, no on that approach too. Alright, so neither of those approaches work. Let's use cubes. Or windows. No, I was right to use cubes. Yeah, this is a cube thing. Windows work when they're on cubes. Windows don't work when they're on cylinders. So it's cube time. Hello there, cube. Okay, so normally I do something like that, but I've gotta probably do it from up here this time. You know what, I could leave a little bit of it poking through the cube. Why not? Just a touch, and then use that as kind of part of the decoration. Maybe that far forward. Okay, then I'm gonna do something on the forward end of these winglets here. And that's, I'm gonna take one of these guys and I'm gonna do this maybe. You know what? It's better off as this piece. But I'm not I don't think I can get away with this. Maybe if I really bend it like that. Although no, I don't think I can. I don't think I can get away with that in the way I wanted to. Maybe this is a time for windows. So I want to add a little bit of a tilt in to this. Or make it a little bit more rounded. So I think something angled slightly forward would help more. Or help the looks more. But now I'm not sure, given how it looks up here. Maybe start with this. Angle it more that way. Yeah. And then what I want to do is I actually want to grab another ice cube, put it on here. Because I did kind of screw up with the other side of this. So I want to remedy that. If I can. So I probably want to do that so that it does look a little bit more consistent, or consistently held on to those wing things. Wings might not need to be that thick, honestly. Or I could angle them slightly upwards too. Make them a little thinner. And angle them upwards like so. And have some struts kind of supporting them. Alright, so bring that down. I was hoping that would work better. No, go away. Give me a... What a buoy. Buoy, oh buoy, yeah. I am half asleep. I mean, it's 11:24 p.m., so of course I'm half asleep. Normally I'm on a terrible sleep schedule, but at the moment I'm not. Which means that that these late night streams are way more difficult for me to do now. I don't like it that far forward, but if I move this, you know, midway through it, that might not look that bad. Or I do something more like this, and then have two of them. Yeah, kind of like that. I do need to get the front end of the wings looking proper. What if I did like this? Not feeling it. But with it comes another idea. It's got something working for it. It's not completely, fully 100% working, but it's most of the way there. Problem is it gets it gets thicker as it goes along, which isn't a normal issue with wings, but I think with this specific part it does cause some problem. However, hello there engines, you are temporarily getting removed from your wing because it is getting removed. Okay, it's not getting removed, but it's getting shrunk down and replaced with this piece. which allows it to be a bit thicker. So then you guys are mounted on this point right here to the wing right about there-ish. Let's do something, because there is an issue with this. And you should be able to see it. So I'm going to try to extend that out to more here. And maybe out to the side a bit. And then reposition you in the center. Because I want to do this on the least amount of parts possible. So that means I can save more parts for other stuff. Like how the tail of this whole thing is going to look. And now you need to be further back. Okay, come on. Align properly. I want you to align this piece properly. No, you're not centered anymore. You need to be a little more there-ish. And suddenly you do something like that, and then move it down a bit. Oh crap, that kind of ruined that alignment, so let's move it back up there. And now that we have this going on, maybe do that, we can take this piece here and just mount it quietly back on. More down, a little bit more up, and actually probably a little bit more forward. Okay, that's not looking bad so far. It's pretty complicated, but it's not looking bad. So the next thing I want to do is I'm probably going to start giving the cockpit a little bit of detail. Honestly, yeah, just one of these will work well enough. And then it would be nice if I could get this just a single cube to work here, but I'm not completely sure I'll be able to. Although, if I do this, then that's going to help a lot with increasing the chance that this single cube will work. If I want it to work, I have to do this, which suddenly kind of ruins this look here. But if I copy this piece again and rotate it correctly, then maybe yeah, okay, I like that. I like how that looks. Then I'm going to add a second one of these guys further back on the cockpit here. I'm actually going to rotate it around this way because I think that'll look a little better. Okay, so I want to start on the underside of the ship here. I'm probably going to start with one of these guys. And then do maybe like a second bit kind of headed towards the tail, like that. So we could hide that like that, or show it down here. If we show it, those two would be the same color, and we do kind of get a weird streak going on. It could look cool. I don't know if it will. Let's see. No. Make it look cleaner. Okay. And then the other part I want to use maybe a beveled lozenge. Like that. Yeah, that could work. So I need to do something around the aft end of this, definitely. But, you know, now that we have that in place, I do need to get some of these little maneuvering thrusters underneath the nose. Which I'll probably put here, and then do this too. Okay, that gives me some maneuvering capabilities on the nose, and then I do want some maneuvering thrusters located on here. The question is, you know, I probably just want to use these guys for roll. And then I'm probably going to use 2 groups of them. And I'm going to start running out of complexity here very, very quickly. Actually, how small can I make these? That small. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that guy for now. Alright, let's just align properly again. And then place a second set here. And then now I gotta copy them to the bottom of this. It doesn't have any backwards thrusters. Wait, no. No. It does. I should probably have some sort of a hinge mechanism located here too, just to make it look a little nicer in terms of how it hinges, or where it hinges around, which will be what I add next. Unfortunately, I'm kind of neglecting the tail of this right now, and I'm gradually running out of complexity. Okay, those can be those downwards maneuvering thrusters. I will have some normal brake thrusters because turning those around will take forever. Well, it won't take forever, but it won't be instantaneous. Probably doesn't need rear thrusters. Yeah, I don't think it would. Hey, Fallen Star, how's it going? Bend those in like that, and then just place one of these guys down. Alright, and then try to get it as close to that spot as I can. That is good. Okay, come on. Adjust in the proper position. maybe rather than doing that, I do something more like that. Yeah, it's kind of the location that turns around. Okay, cool. I need to do something kind of interesting with the tail end of this, which will probably involve cubes. I'm going to start with a small cube, kind of V-tail sort of thing. Like so. Oh, thanks for the host. Thanks very much for the host. I'll put it back here. Just it up. Roll it. And then take a second set, extend it out even more. Rotate it kind of like that. You know what? Don't extend it out even more. Just okay, come on, game. Don't be stupid here. I said don't be stupid. I want to keep that piece. Okay, you're a little misaligned. I'm okay. Yeah, you're still a little misaligned. Oh, God. Just adjust. Adjust properly. Come on. There. 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 And now we can do this again. Ah, close enough. No, I don't really like that yet. And all that work just to say, no, I don't like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like a wing stake type feature. So rather than have it be like that, it's going to be a little bit more like this, maybe. And we can adjust it back a bit, like so. I don't know if I want it out a little more or not. Probably not. I want to do maybe 2 sets of wing stakes. Come on. Something like that. Question, what desktop PC? It is custom built. Yeah, this is a custom built PC. Okay, so what I want to do is we still need maneuvering thrusters on the tail end of this. About here. Build it yourself? Well, I had to help picking out some of the parts, and it's been upgraded over the years. It's not... I mean, very much it's been use old parts and then put new parts on and take old parts out. That's very much what it's been. So the original PC was... I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the original was built sometime early last decade or mid last decade. Probably mid last decade. But, you know, a lot of the parts have been upgraded, like the GPU and the CPU especially have been upgraded very significantly. I wouldn't say they're quite modern anymore, but they still hold up. The CPUs may be getting a little weak. Okay. So there's kind of the tail boom maneuvering thrusters. And now we can get some extra part count back by doing that. Okay. I do want a little bit more detail on this. I feel like it's lacking something right now, and I don't know what. Now, let's try this guy since I can copy it for literally nothing. Well, it does cost a little bit of complexity, and complexity is the important part right now. But we can do something like this. That looks pretty good. Alright, so in terms of maneuvering thrusters, yeah, I can maneuver in like any direction at once at this point. Alright, so some of the color, or some of the extra stuff I might add might be more paint job related stuff, although again, I still have the sneaking suspicion that it's missing a little bit of detail which it needs. So I'm going to see if I can squeeze a bit more on here somehow. Like, some of that might come with the paint job, but I don't know, it looks a little too sleek. It needs a little bit more roughness somewhere. No, I did have one of these in before, let's try it again. But this time, more out to the side. So we have a little bit of something like here-ish. And we could do something like this. And kind of bring it in a little bit. I feel confident in this. Not really. I don't know what it needs. Okay, actually, you know what? I kind of do know what. Okay, leave the... No, that's not going to work. You know what? Leave it in place, because I want to try it here first. I do something more like this. Too far out, but I can get away with a different piece instead, or try to do something clever. But I want to start by doing something clever more down here. That's probably going to involve... honestly, one of these guys. No. I'd love to get more like that. Also, get rid of those stakes. I kind of like that look a little more. And what if I did one of these guys like on the stakes here, and then did something like this, moved it back here. Okay, that looks a little cleaner, I think, than the previous stakes I had. getting more of that style look. But yeah, now it does still definitely need something in this area, in which I'm not exactly sure what it needs to be. There's the thought of vents, but why would you have vents on a spacecraft? That doesn't make any logical sense. Look amazing on an aircraft, but not on a spacecraft. Is there any way I can align this so it kind of pops out a little more? Nope. Oh great, the sinus issues are starting. Just what I needed. I hate allergies. No. Okay, so what I want to do is I would want to grab a cubby. And now I'm out of stuff again. So, hey, you, be made asymmetric. And then do something like this. And then I can put this in a position like so. Move it back. Move it up. And move it out. Yeah, okay, that's probably what I needed. It's got some good angles to it. It's got some less good angles to it, I will say. Hopefully once it's painted, it'll start looking a bit nicer, and I can, by making a few more parts asymmetrical, get a little bit more complexity out of it. Like, I can do that part asymmetrical, that part can probably be asymmetrical, that part already is, that part can be, that part can be, that part can be. That's about it. This part can't be, because otherwise the engines will be asymmetrical. Actually, it probably can be later on. And then this part can be too. Alright, so now we still have a bunch of extra complexity to work with. I'll have to only use it with some of the inner part, or not inner parts. None of the parts I just made asymmetric I can use that on. I can use it on this big piece too, or that big piece, so that'll work. Okay, so what type of color scheme? Do I want something kind of reddish or bluish or what on it? Yellowish, purplish could be an option. What about like one of this form of gray? Oh, not gray. Turquoise. Well, what color do we want to make the engines? We could make them turquoise. We could make them like almost a reddish or orangish here. I'm gonna actually tighten that down a little bit. Maybe. Oh, it is coming out whitish, so that does imply more of a whitish blue. So maybe we do go more with the turquoise up front. And then maybe a whiter turquoise in the back. Like this color. unfortunately, I've already made that back asymmetrical, so I can't really adjust any of those maneuvering thrusters anymore. I just want to try like a red look to this. Just need to find a good texture. Well, I want to paint this something interesting here. So one of these textures might work, but I don't know which one specifically. That one doesn't look bad. Maybe if we adjust this to more like this shade of gray. No. Let's leave that at black. And not terrible. These don't look bad either. You do something. Okay, you're gonna hop off. Good night then. Do something a little redder for them. You know, I kind of like that, where it kind of gradually gets black towards the end. But we still need a good ship paint scheme here. Some good ones are on this page. I know that. Ship texture. These are kind of like generic ones. This one can actually look really good on some stuff. That one depends. I need something which looks nice and smooth. I'll also do like some sort of camouflage scheme, for example. Like, I don't think that looks great, but it might be a starting point on where to work on this in terms of paint scheme. But I kinda don't feel like I'm gonna go with that. I probably should pick something else. This is kind of interesting in metallic, but I think it's in... I think I already tested that one, or looked at that one before. That one can sometimes work on some stuff, but I don't think it's going to work here. This is a little bit more a rough color scheme, but I don't know. I don't think that'll work. Okay. This guy, I'd probably have to try to adjust these colors a little bit more perfectly. A little too dull in my opinion, I think. That was us dull, I'd go with it. That color exists. There's some paint schemes on this page and the other page can work. This paint scheme can look good on some stuff. I'm not going to use it for the red. I might use that for the white or some detail sections. What color did I want again? There's one I was looking for. Oh yeah, it's on the first page. I'm a moron. It's this guy. I think this might be one of the cleanest color schemes which still has a texture to it. Okay, so let's start by painting the ship like this. Although, I probably do want to mess with it somewhat. It's a little too strong. Maybe here? I want to go for strong. Maybe go for darker. Like more of a blood. Something more like this, maybe. And then I'm going to add some white to it to kind of balance it all out. So this will look a lot better. But I think that's the shade of red I want, even though it is very saturated. I'll start repainting most of it just like this right now. Not all of it. I don't think it's worth it to paint all of it at the moment. So if I didn't go with this shade, we'd go with like that shade. It's a little too unsaturated. And then that's probably too bright. Yeah. Alright, so let's try this, but with double white, or kind of lighter color. And then what I want to do is I want a darker, more machine color scheme for parts of this. Or go back to this style. So what I want to start out with for this nose right here is I'd like to continue on this red line a little bit more. Kind of around the nose of the craft. Like that. What's the question? Do I want red engines or do I want white engines or what? Also like this sort of color scheme. I don't think I like that very much. I'll put this on. No. What about you? A little better. Yes, that's the color scheme I want. Although, what about one of these guys? Actually, that looks really cool. Yes, there we go. Hmm. I do want to mess with those engines a little bit more. So one noticeable issue is it kind of needs to fade a little bit, which that's not doing. Well, at all. Okay, so I can just duplicate that piece again. And then do something more like this. Oh, let's do that again. Come on, just... Seriously? Thank you. Okay, so that does kind of continue on that trend. Copy you there. Okay. So then do I want to do like another line kind of going across it somewhere? Or alternatively do I want to do like one across the frontal nose right here? Hmm. So if I want to do one, I know what I want to do actually. Give me one of these. I need to fix this here first. Alright, so bend it down like so. Alright, so then rotate around this way. No. So it was like this before. Okay, so I want to rotate you around like this, and then do like that, maybe? No, that's not gonna work. I think you're... Okay, so I think I see what the issue is here. I gotta see what the issue is. It's not gonna work. It's not ever gonna work. It's me. Nothing does work for me anyway, so eh. I have a habit of trying things which just aren't gonna work, so what I should be doing is I should just be using these guys. You know what? I should have just used that from the start. Goodbye. Okay. Cubes never betray you. Boxes never betray... Okay, cubes never betray you, boxes do. I bet he didn't even... I don't even think he's here anymore to pay attention to that statement. Right. I think that's kind of good. Oh, this almost looks unpainted now. If we do that, what if we painted it white and then did these as gray? And then we get rid, or get by with these as gray as well. All the little engine components. Alright, so this guy before was what piece? What paint? One of these, I think. If that's all red, then that's gotta be red. But I don't like that as red. What if I just did the side ones there? Okay, what style of piece do I want here? I'll do something like that. And maybe you get a little darker, like this sort of gray. Maybe not that quite that dark. Maybe more there. Okay, I'm still a little unsure regarding the color scheme. Okay, so I do have to move this down. And then because of that, I have to adjust these slightly to make them visible. Okay. Yeah, it's not bad at the moment. It would be nice to figure out better. Oh yeah, I like that now. Like going with that sort of underbelly. Maybe now that I pulled that off, I can get away more with that. Yeah, okay, I think that's fine. And then we have one more piece to work with somewhere. So in terms of paint scheme, is there anything which I just don't think is perfect and it can accomplish with, you know, one or two more pieces? Let's try this. We can get by with two pieces from this guy. And then let's see where we can put them to use. I have an idea. And then we do something like this. Just get this perfect. It's gonna be it's gonna be very difficult to get this perfect, unfortunately. Which is what I'm trying to do. I'll make this piece bigger. Problem is there's a bit of a gap there, which I need to not accidentally fill. As much as I want to do that, I don't think I can get away with it. I can get close to getting away with it, but just not quite. Build it up there. Could have it just peak around only the two points here. Something like that's an option. Yeah, that might be good. That might be cool. So I'll just save it as work in progress racer for now. I'm gonna mess with the cabin look a little bit if I can. So that was the color I had before, I think. But I want to mess with some different textures on it, and then I'll call it here. Wow, 2 hours! 2 hours to build this thing. It's way, way, way later than I expected it to be. And then I'll name it and post it while I'm offline. Maybe mess with the colors a little bit more. Try to get a little bit more perfect. when I'm not quite as tired. A lot of people do like that, just very basic color right there. But I don't know, I'm not a huge fan. This is the same color we were using for the other bits. Same texture. Actually, that kind of looks cool. Okay, but other than that, is there any other textures we can use? What about this guy? Yeah, no. I'll leave it at that. And then the other cool thing we can do is, you know, rotate the engines. Alright. I'll just quickly grab a couple of pictures showing this off. And then just hit check, replace, and call it there. I'll get it uploaded sometime tomorrow, but yeah, I'm decently happy with it. I'll play with the colors and the description and such a little bit, but I'm just too tired at this point. So yeah, expect to see my other entries get done as well. So okay, I guess bye. Bye then, everyone. Thank you for watching. Anyone watching this on YouTube, links to my Twitch and Discord are below. Anyone watching on Twitch, links to my YouTube and Discord are below. I almost forgot that because I'm so tired at this point. So yeah. Bye.